Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I'm a homeschooling mom to two boys. They're in 8th grade and 10th grade this year, and my 10th grader is using a world history curriculum. This is from Guest Hollow. It's called Whirlwind World History. He's enjoying it a lot. We started it at the beginning of August, and it is now the very beginning of November. We did take off a little time to go on vacation, and we are in week 10 right now. I'm going to go over the different components of the curriculum. The main part of it is an online book, and there are embedded videos that you watch as you read through the book. And also the online schedule is one of the main components of it. There are links to additional videos and activities and cooking. And another big component are all the additional books that you read. These are definitely not all the books. I've got a lot of books that I purchased with the audiobook, and he just listens to the audio portion of it. This curriculum also comes with a timeline. It comes with notebooking pages, which I printed up for each week, and my son is using them to take notes when he's watching the videos and reading. And also there are some adult coloring pages to go with it if your student chooses. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to use as part of this curriculum. And there are also craft activities and cooking, and there's art activities and music you can listen to from the different historical time periods. And this is the timeline here. There's also a workbook if you want your student to complete the workbook. I'll just show you a few pages of that. We are not using the workbook this year. I'm just having him take notes. And then he goes over the notes with me. It's a very colorful, friendly workbook. Alright, now I'm going to go over in detail a little bit more each component. So starting with the online schedule, this is the main heart of the whole curriculum. You can easily get to it from their website. This has everything that's scheduled out each day, and there's a lot. You can kind of pick and choose what you want to use. You don't have to use everything. That would probably take like way too much time. But everything's clearly laid out. And any additional videos or activities are also linked. The main spine book is always at the top. It's clearly laid out which sections in the chapters they have to read each day. This is one of the things my son loves about Guest Hollow. He absolutely loves the online books. So there's maps, there's lots of colorful pictures, there's reading. This will be a video and YouTube. And this is one of the reasons we keep on going back to Guest Hollow. One of the other reasons why we really enjoy Guest Hollow a lot are all the additional books that you can read on top of the online main spine book. And how I pick the books is I like to get the books that have pictures. And then all the other books that don't have pictures or anything extra, I try to do audiobooks for my son. This Whirlwind World History curriculum definitely has a lot of books to choose from, so I had to definitely cut a few out. But I kind of picked from what he's interested in and what looks the most fun for him. I got a lot of these, the Terrible Tutors, the Horrible History books. The Vicious Vikings. And these I've all purchased used. So some of them might be a little beat up. The Groovy Greeks. The Red Scarf Girl. I found this on clearance, so it's not really an exciting book. We could have gone with an audio for it, but I think I paid like $2 for it at Thrift Books. I got this, Saigon Calling. This is towards the end of the year. He'll be reading it. He's already read this. It's The Art of War. This is the graphic version of it. This is more towards the end of the year. It's Guts and Glory. And then this book right here is one of the main books that they're going to be reading throughout the year. And then I've added these two books. I'm not sure if the Odyssey was in the schedule or not, but I had it here, and he's reading it for language arts. So I did add in this. And I've added this book in also. This is another one I found for clearance. It's kind of written like a really, really long poem. As far as cost goes, it does cost a little bit extra to buy all these books and get the audiobooks to go with it. But I do buy everything used, and if I can't find it for used and it's just way too expensive brand new, then I probably won't get that book. I would say I probably spent about $50 on all the books for this curriculum in addition to buying the curriculum itself. Another component that I printed up that the curriculum came with are these notebooking pages. And I've bound them and printed one page for each week. And he's taking notes as he goes through it, and then he goes over the notes with me afterwards. I think the note-taking skills for him is really important since he's probably going to be taking a few college classes next year as dual enrollment. Another component is the timeline. So let me show you, I created this book for the timeline. There is something you can print to put it in, although I didn't print that up. And I have a tab in here for the timeline. This is what it looks like. They cut it out and then they put it in the right order. And it's clearly listed by each week. It says week 14. And then I created an accordion book to go with it. It's not super pretty, but it's serving its purpose. And then he got to the end of it, and now he's going to the back side. So some of the extras you can choose to go with or not go with. For every week, there are adult coloring pages. Another thing are some of the art projects. He had to create a mosaic. I just went ahead and bought this kit online for him to create mosaics with. There are a lot of art projects that are linked in there, but he's not doing them. He's not going to get an art credit this year for it. Maybe next year. If we use Guest Hollow again, he's going to get a credit for it. But he just likes to do a few on the side. There's actually another one coming up that he's going to be doing, which is going to be a paper lantern. So I already printed it up for him, and I have it ready to go. He's going to start that next week. As far as high school credit goes, you could really pull a lot of different credits from here. Last year when I used Guest Hollow, I had pulled out a half a credit of music. You could also pull out art credit if you wanted to give them like a half a credit for art. Or cooking, there's a lot of recipes every week. You could do a half a credit for cooking, or even 1 credit if you added in extra things. You could do a literature credit, or there's even writing assignments scheduled. So you could even pull out a whole entire language arts credit if you really wanted to. We are using a separate language arts program, so I'm only pulling a few of the books from here and giving him a little bit of literature credit for it. So I'm going to show you guys how I schedule it. I go ahead and schedule the whole entire year over the summer. I usually spend a few hours on one day to do it. Each week I have in my schedule here corresponds to the Guest Hollow week online, so I know exactly where to go for that week. And then I just number it by days. I don't put the actual date that he's going to be using it, because in the beginning of the year I don't know which date each day is going to go. So I write like day 57, week 15, he's going to be completing all of these things. He's going to watch the linked videos. He's going to be reading a spine book. And then the next day he reads the spine book, he does the timeline, and he does the music links. And the day after that, we've got pick more linked videos, and he does his main spine, and then main spine, he reads the history of the world book. And then I wrote down the specific pages, and that would be this reference book right here. And then, of course, any activities, I put a star there so I know to gather the materials for it ahead of time. And then I move it to my clipboard each week. This is what he's got to do each day. He knows where to go online. And then I put everything that he needs, like for timeline and craft projects, I attach it to the clipboard. Here's his timeline in the clipboard. So right now for audiobooks, he's listening to The Last Kingdom, and when he finishes up that audiobook, he's going to move into the Grimm's fairy tales. He's really looking forward to that book. So that's pretty much it for the curriculum. We absolutely love it. I think next year when I use it, I'm going to be combining both of my high schoolers because my younger son will be in high school at that time. I hope this was helpful. Bye, guys.